Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin the ceremony momentarily. Please take this time to silence all of your electronic devices. Thank you.
Platoon, attention!
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome the family of Moneer Damra, as well as the Chancellor, Dr. Pembroke. I also welcome our other distinguished guests of the university, friends, and cadets of the Cougar Battalion. Today we are here to honor Cadet Damra and reflect on his time and impact within the ROTC program and throughout the university. Today's memorial is unique. Traditionally, this type of ceremony is reserved for soldiers we have lost while serving on active duty, the National Guard, or the Army Reserve. Unfortunately, Cadet Damra had that opportunity taken away from him. However, he was a contracted cadet, and I have no doubt that he would have been an outstanding leader and Army nurse. Due to the uniqueness of the situation we find ourselves in today, the cadre and cadets of the Cougar Battalion all agree that Cadet Damra is more than deserving of this honor. Today, we are presenting a modified version of a soldier memorial ceremony. Military functions hold symbology. In front of you is the memorial stand. Normally, it would contain an inverted rifle with bayonet to represent the break in action to pay tribute to our friend, boots to represent the final march of the last battle, and ID tags and helmet to represent the fallen comrade. What you see in front of you today is a representation of Cadet Damra. Boots for the final march. The ID tags and patrol cap signify Cadet Damra, never to be forgotten. His Army combat uniform, lab coat, stethoscope, and picture of him studying in uniform, and another of him with the Ranger Challenge team show his drive to serve as an Army nurse. Later in the ceremony, we will conduct another military custom known as the last roll call. The last roll call is a final tribute paid by soldiers to their fallen comrade. The last roll call is a very intimate ceremony and is seldom observed by those not in the unit or specifically invited to attend. It has had its origins in the accountability roll call conducted by the unit first sergeant following each combat engagement. Soldiers become extremely familiar with the roll call during their tour of service, making a bittersweet ceremony when utilized as part of a memorial. When used after combat, every soldier's name is called to regain accountability. The last roll call is called and responded to with the conviction held by soldiers that all unit members will be accounted for and none will ever be forgotten. Thank you everyone for joining us today as we remember and honor Cadet Moneer Damra.
Parade, rest!
Please join me in a moment of prayer or reflection according to your beliefs.
Platoon, attention!
God, you are a loving and caring God. You tell us that you are near to the brokenhearted. We ask you to be near Monique's family, friends, and peers. We ask that in your presence we find peace and a sense of comfort that surpasses our own understanding. We know these gifts can only come from you. Moneer was a humble, kind, motivated, and inspiring man. He was a friend to all, a brother to many, and an inspiration to everyone who knew him. Bless every Cougar Battalion cadet, alumni, and our extended family as we grieve together today, and give us healing for the future. We thank you for Moneer's life and the opportunity to have been able to know him. Amen. I'll be followed by the Chancellor, Dr. Pembroke.
Mourning. Fritz.
Thank you all for being here today. This is a difficult day. It is a sad day, one where we gather to remember a very, very special person, Moneer Damra. To the family, first, I want to say thank you for sharing Moneer with us at SIUE. He was such an amazing individual, and we mourn with you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. The resources of SIUE are here for you, so please call on us. To Moneer's fellow ROTC cadets, it is difficult to make any sense of this random, despicable act of violence. Life is not fair. Often life is not just, but life is precious. So let us take this moment to commit to good things in life, helping each other, remembering amazing people who have touched us, and appreciate this day. Thank you to those who attended his funeral last week. One of the things about this crime that is so upsetting was the randomness of it. It could have happened to any of us at any time, at any place. But the opposite of randomness is purpose. So let us think today and commit today to the things that Moneer purposely committed to. Healing as a School of Nursing student, serving and supporting others. As Stephen Gould said, few injustices are deeper than the denial of opportunity. Moneer was denied opportunities that would have been available to him later in life. But even in this moment, let us find comfort in giving thanks for a life well lived, a life that touched everyone here, and let us resolve to advance the passions and the commitments that made him so special. Peace be with you.
In preparing for this speech, I went back and reread old texts Damra and I shared. The last message he sent me was about how he came to ROTC terrified and overwhelmed, unaware of his capabilities. Then he said it was the Cougar pride and the spirit of all of you who inspired him to improve himself and challenge himself daily. It has been said many times how inspiring Damra was to this battalion. It's hard to reconcile with the thought that a person of his character has departed us. It should not be forgotten the impact he made on all of you, nor the impact you made on him. It is with that we should hold our heads high, thankful for the memories we shared. We can continue to honor him in the manner we approach each day, with the same passion and determination that Damra did. That's how I choose to honor him. I know you all will too. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Over these last 2 years, I've had the pleasure to get to know Moneer. Last fall, we had the opportunity to compete together in the Ranger Challenge competition. In case you don't know, Ranger Challenge involves various events that are designed to push cadets to their physical and mental breaking points. In preparation for this competition, we spent several long months doing long runs in the cold and ruck marches seemed to go on forever. During these extreme tests of willpower, one thing stuck out to me. As I would look around the group, I would see a lot of down faces, but one face was always different. Every time things got hard, Damra would always have a smile from ear to ear. If you knew Damra, you would know that nothing could keep him from smiling. The harder things got, the wider his smile seemed to become. Seeing his smile somehow made those runs feel a little easier. It had made the weight in my rucksack feel a little lighter. Moneer was also one of the most compassionate people I've ever met. No matter who you are, he truly cared for you. He was devastated when his clinicals for his nursing clinicals were canceled due to COVID-19. He was devastated because he would not be able to help his patients receive the care that they needed. He would always put the needs of others before himself, and he dedicated his life to service. Hopefully a little bit of Damra rubbed off on us all. To the cadets in the room, my suggestion is that if you ever feel down, if you ever feel like there's an obstacle in your life that is too high to overcome, do it like Damra would and smile. That simple action will not only give you the courage to overcome any challenge, but I promise you it'll change the lives of the people around you, just like he changed mine. Thank you. Please direct your attention to the screen above for a video involving the Ranger Challenge.
When reviewing some files recently, we came across some few essays Moneer wrote when applying for Army ROTC scholarships, internships at Army hospitals. One of the things he wrote, "I seek excellence in all that I do. That means I have a very high standard for my academic and physical performance. For me to maintain that standard, I must make many personal sacrifices and adopted a very disciplined and rigorous lifestyle. I have worked hard to learn as much as possible in nursing school because my nursing is my passion and the care of my patients is my priority. I believe that my hard work shows in my grades and in the impressions I have left with cadre and my fellow cadets in the SIUE School of Nursing. The opportunity to practice healthcare in the United States Army has been a lifelong dream of mine, and I will continue to work very hard to ensure that I am a great nurse and soldier. ROTC partners with universities to recruit, retain, and create leaders of grit and character for our nation. We primarily develop cadets along 3 lines of effort: scholar, athlete, and leader. Scholar, Moneer Damra began college in 2011, but had to postpone his education due to a family emergency. Moneer never lost sight of his goal, a career in nursing and to serve his country. During an interview, Moneer was asked why he chose nursing path. His response, I want to have a career that matters and helps people. To help people when they are most vulnerable and need the most. It can be difficult, but I believe that that's what nurses do. I believe it is my life calling. Moneer maintained a 4.0 at SIUE School of Nursing. His excellence continued even after a 5-year break in school. Moneer achieved the Dean's List in 2018 and 2019. Under athlete, Moneer's drive is evident in that in order to join ROTC, he had to overcome a fitness obstacle. This did not deter Moneer. He simply decided that is what he was going to achieve, he was going to do to achieve his goal. And so he did that one day at a time. He lost over 150 pounds in less than a year and raised his APFT score by 111 points. He welcomed the challenge to prepare for a new fitness test and excelled by passing his first ever attempt at the Army Combat Fitness Test, meeting the highest echelon of heavy and scoring 513 points out of 600. Moneer joined what is the varsity sport of ROTC to surround himself by the most elite, the Cadet Ranger Challenge Team. He also volunteered to train to earn the German Armed Forces Proficiency Badge on top of his intense academic workload. Under leader, Moneer displayed his leadership throughout the years of working to help his family and save for college. During Moneer's time away from school, his hard work was recognized and he was sought out to represent his peers at board meetings, promotion boards, and promoted to shift leader. After joining ROTC, Moneer chose to attend additional training with cadre and cadets. He continuously encouraged and motivated fellow cadets to do their best and improve. Moneer was fully committed to the Cougar Battalion and impressed every cadre and cadet. Moneer was asked about a hurdle to joining ROTC, and his response, I just made up my mind to work toward it every day. He understood that discipline was the most important requirement in accomplishment of our goals. I charge each of us to forever remember, no matter the goal or difficulty, to do it like Damra. I'll be followed by the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Clark.
Battalion, stand at ease. All right, I thought you guys could use a little second to shake out, get a few deep breaths here, okay? Because I got a couple pages of remarks I want to remake. You look beautiful, Cougar Battalion. Thank you, family, for being here with us and distinguished guests. I met Moneer 2 years ago when he had just decided to change his life. He had a hard life and had been putting his personal goals on hold by helping his family for years. He'd been working various jobs. But he was finally ready to begin pursuing his dream of nursing. And at the beginning, I believe maybe Army ROTC was mainly a funded path to that dream. But I also believe that he truly ended up loving the Army. I often tell the cadets that the Cougar Battalion is a world-class organization. And I'm sure you often mistake this for my grandstanding of you. But here's yet another bit of evidence to that. Each cadet had a role in his rapid integration into our team. His love of the Cougar Battalion is a testament to you who welcomed a latecomer. He saw that all that matters to us is that you are dependable, you show up, and you do your best. Moneer did his best day in and day out, and eventually was recognized as one of our best. He had recently stated that he would like to stay in the Army till his maximum service. That would be nearly 30 years. He saw how nursing and soldiering intersected, because being the best leader you can be actually requires a self-sacrificial brand of servant leadership. Leaders are entrusted to not only direct, but to care for those who volunteer to be part of something bigger than themselves. The leadership style we teach and the inputs required of nursing are completely complementary. Moneer was thriving in that space, and it was beautiful to watch him grow as a nurse, as a soldier, as a friend, and even as a mentor to some of you. His sister Suzanne recently told me that the culture and close relationship soldiers forged together helped him become the best version of himself. However, all any mentor can do is really polish up that what the person brings to the table. Moneer had the drive and the passion to be that servant leader. He had the ability to humble himself for the good of the team, and he had the greatest amount of self-discipline I've ever seen. Once he decided what was right, he just simply did it the best he could. He was okay with failure, but never with accepting failure. He knew that everything is a process, and everyone had value and worth, no matter where they came from or what level their skill sets were at today. Moneer believed and lived by the example that if he could improve, they could too. Moneer had the uncommon balance of compassion and drive. He would fiercely compete against his previous best effort and also against you. But he would also encourage you, you can do this, or we got this. He was absolutely committed to his friends and would do anything for them or with them, physical endurance events or maybe pulling an all-night study session. Moneer didn't just make you want to be better, somehow he actually made you better. And this was a side effect of us not wanting to let him down. When a person brings that culture to a group, it's a beautiful thing to see. And those of us who are a little older and jaded, we sometimes embrace the falsehood that one person can't make a difference. But Moneer disproved that every day. We are fortunate to have known him, and we are all better for having met him. And I believe he will continue to make us all better even in the future through the influence his memory will have on us. We are all forever changed having known him. And because of this, there is no return to normal. But together, we will find what the new normal is, and we will honor and respect Moneer through our future efforts and endeavors. I once gave Moneer a challenge coin, which this is a military tradition for commanders to recognize excellence. And on that coin, I've had imprinted the phrase, endure and conquer, a reference to a more and more common fault I see in those who fail to meet their goals. They quit on themselves too soon, usually maybe as a result of negative self-talk or some difficult surroundings. And I've tried to arm the Cougar Battalion against that by instilling the self-belief that if I hang on and do my best, that this tough situation will pass. It will get better. I will be better. And this is the only definition of success we measure ourselves against in the Cougar Battalion, perpetual improvement. I remember how proud Moneer was to be recognized receiving that award, and I hope that he realized that he had already embodied exactly what I hope to instill in each of our future soldier leaders that we met here. Treat everyone with dignity and respect, and never quit making yourself, your team, or your organization better. Thank you. We will now honor Moneer with the final roll call.
Platoon attention!
That's roll call. Cadet Elvis.
Here, Master!
Cadet Ellis.
Here, Master!
Cadet Unterbrink.
Here, Master Sergeant.
Cadet Damra. Cadet Moneer Damra. Cadet Moneer Muhammad Damra.
Present. Halt! Order. Halt!
The meaning of the flag folding program. The flag is a symbol of our common values and unity. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton blue, containing the stars, each of which represents a state our veterans served in and reflects our first national motto from 1776, E pluribus unum, out of many 1. When America's sons and daughters volunteer to serve in the armed forces, their first act is to swear an oath of allegiance to the flag, and thus the republic forged from the values enshrined in our Declaration of Independence and Constitution. Daily, the U.S. Armed Forces' first and last order of business is to tend to the flag. Every morning at reveille, we vigorously run the flag aloft. Every evening at retreat, the flag is reverently lowered, folded in a triangle, and kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning, the flag is raised again, a symbol of our nation's indomitable spirit. The official reason we fold the flag in a triangle with only the blue canton visible is to invoke the imagery of the tri-cornered hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General Washington. We continue to follow their example in this ritual and in our service to preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today. Throughout their service, these volunteers' words and deeds give honor to the flag. In their death, we utilize the flag as a gift to honor them. At some point, veteran organizations created unofficial rules for each of the 13 folds, linking the folds to the original 13 colonies and other patriotic symbology. Amongst these folds that honor the departed, express belief in eternal life, love of country, and affirm our republic as indivisible with liberty and justice for all. One fold is a tribute to our armed forces who protect our flag against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And another recognizes the family's love and devotion to the child which molded them into the selfless servant we knew. We now suffer with them in their loss. I will now be followed by Moneer's family.
I do want to say, as Moneer's sister, thank you so much for honoring him and for doing this for him. I know that he can hear us and he can see us. I did want to just come up here and say that, you know, as a sister, Moneer was just such an amazing human being. And I say that because I've known him all my life, and he has always been there for me. He was just a great brother, a great uncle, and I know that you all are grieving, and I think that the best way that I've learned how to cope with this is that somehow I know that Moneer is on this journey, and that one day maybe I'll see him again, right? May not be in this life, but in another life. And I just like to think that he's in a better place now and he's at peace. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Yusuf and I'm brother-in-law of Moneer Damra. I don't know how to thank you for all this, what you have done for Moneer. And, you know, as Susan said, Moneer was such a good person. He was like the best friend I had. And we were not expecting, you know, this honor that you're giving to Moneer. And the Army was an example for him. And now that I see, you know, with the videos that I saw and how, you know, he was performing, I think he's also a good example for the Army. Susan said that Moneer was so young. He did not marry. He was so young. He was only 27. And I told her, good people always leave sooner. And based on what I've seen in my life, you know, always good people leave sooner this world. We were planning to come to the graduation ceremony. And now we are here. It's very sad. He was always ready to serve people, to serve his family, to serve his friends, and he was ready to serve the country. I know he didn't have the chance to go, like, you know, overseas, any mission, but he was struggling, he was working very hard, and he was always ready to serve the country. We feel his presence, and, you know, although he has left us, but his dreams, his deeds, his memories is always with us. And his aunt came to the funeral, and when their family, they were leaving, on their way, they saw the moon lightening, you know, their way, and they sent a picture of the moon, and the moon was very bright and complete round moon. So I'm a curious person, and I just Googled, you know, the moon on 28, and the moon was complete. If you see that, the moon is complete. And Moneer name also means shining. So he was a light for all of us. Actually, my wife is expecting a baby boy, and we are going to name him Moneer. And my wife told me, like, I don't want to forget Moneer. You know, how can we keep his name all the time? And I was thinking, I said, you know, one day during the dinner we were discussing about, you know, some new initiative, something to start together. And we discussed, we agreed that we will start a telemedicine company or nonprofit organization, combining technology with medicine. And he was passionate about it, and he said, you know, when he graduates, he's going to be part of this, and we will do it together. But he didn't have the chance to do that. But I made the decision, you know, although I wanted to do it later, but I made the decision that I have to do it. I have to do it for him, and that's why we are going to start this nonprofit organization. It will be about telemedicine, connecting needy people to the volunteers who are willing to donate their time for medical services. And we'll have telemedicine, telehealth, and home care health services, as well as we will have an annual award of Moneer Damra, you know, for his remembrance. as well as we will have programs to spread the message of kindness in communities. Because if this teenager knew who Moneer was, he wouldn't do that. And so I'm committed. We will follow his dreams. We will continue his way. And I really appreciate for your support. And thank you for arranging this program. Thank you very much.
Group attention.
This concludes our ceremony today. At this time, our honored guest can greet the family.